Tahira is going to be the... What are you going to be? Witch. She is. Yes.
What a great part. It's a great part.
Shall we go? So we won't be late. Yeah. Come on then, let's go. Bye-bye, Miss Ogden.
Bye. Bye, Nisa.
These girls from Nolby School in the East End of London are off to visit the local primary school to tell a story.
Looking forward to being a witch. Are you, what noise are you going to make when you laugh? Let's have a practice. You have to say to Anissa, stupid girl.
And Atia have severe and complex needs and are part of the school's discovery group.
Yeah? Do you remember when we went and saw the pantomime?
The other three, Lubna, Nusrat and Proni, are learning sign language and have volunteered to help the other girls tell the story.
The presence of these girls with severe and complex needs in the school created quite an interesting immediate effect on the rest of the school. I was suddenly getting students coming up to me and saying, my sister has a disability. And suddenly it was something being talked about. It wasn't a guilty secret. It wasn't something that families feel ashamed of. But we're not going to the house. Where are we going? We're going to...
That way.
Okay, you're going to lead the way, are you? Yes, we're going down to year 1. Do you remember when you were in Asable's class? We're going to take you down to Asable. Asable remembers you. We'll just go down this way, please. And then we used lots of those girls as experts, so suddenly it becomes a skill and an area of expertise for them. So we're really excited to come and tell you our favourite story today.
This is the story of Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time there lived a girl called Gretel. Good morning, Gretel.
Good morning.
Lovely.
And her brother Hansel. Good morning, Hansel.
Afwan.
Yeah, ask the narrator then. I'd say like, this is the house. Yeah, this is sweets, chocolates, eat, cupboard. This is slam the door, like that. Learning sign language. One day the stepmother said to the father,
"Go into the woods and leave Hansel and Gretel there. They keep eating my food. Horrible brats." I was the wicked stepmother. I quite enjoyed it, participating with them and, acting out. And I can understand a bit more about them, that what they do. And I think when I'm growing up, maybe I can help them, in the future.
Hansel and Gretel were listening. They were scared. As a community, I think we should learn the way they communicate, the way they socialize. And the fact is that some people, they don't take them seriously. They think they're just kids. A little old lady opened the door and said, The witch leaned into the oven. When she had leaned far enough, she pushed the witch right in, then slammed the door.
Now it's time for year 2 to tell their story.
Asable's class is going to be telling you a story with some story ingredients in our storytelling box. We're going to go round and we're going to pick 3 things from our storytelling box.
I think having Atia in my class and then also having Anissa part-time in my class meant that myself and children knew that not everybody communicated the same way. How can we simplify things to explain it to people like Atia? How can we simplify things to explain it to people like Anissa? And then they would say, how about the opposite? If we were trying to tell, Trevor McDonald on the news, how would we explain it to them?
One scary night, there was a parrot with a ruler.
There was a parrot with a ruler.
And the ruler fell down. And the parrot was trying to help the ruler, but he couldn't help it.
Any explanation work that we had going on, whether it was in science, history, literacy, it would help the other children. They would have to explain themselves really, really carefully and be really, really articulate in order to get somebody like Atia to understand. And it kind of eliminated a lot of prejudices.
You be the parrot. Go. With a ruler. Do you want to be the ruler? And the ruler ruler fell down.
When we put together students with moderate special needs, for example, Lubna, who you saw helping to tell a story, their interactions with Atya, Anisa and Tahira, it actually really helps Lubna to develop her own expressive language skills because she's having to really think about how she's communicating with these girls. They start every day in their form group in morning registration, and that's 20 minutes. So every single day they're part of their whole class. And that's been a real challenge for mainstream teachers because it's such a brand new thing to have girls with severe and complex needs as part of their class.
The experience of teaching a discovery group has also hugely benefited language development across the curriculum and mainstream classes.
Right, okay girls, the whole point of this lesson today is we're going to be learning about these two lesson objectives. Hopefully these are two questions we'll be able to answer by the end of this lesson. What is fitness, okay, and what has it got to do with the human body?
In my role as a Senko, obviously I play a big role in helping students who have a wide spectrum of needs to develop their speech and language skills. In an average class at Mulberry, you might have one statemented child, and then you might have perhaps 5 or 6, possibly more, students who are school action or school action plus. And we keep an individual education plan on every student on the special needs register. More often than not, there's a speech and language focused target.
To know science, you've got to obviously be able to speak science confidently. Okay, you've got to be able to speak science well. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to point to the word and I'm going to ask you as a class to repeat it together, okay? Can we just repeat after me? The respiratory system. Just one more time. Excellent. Learning these sort of scientific words and moving away from sort of common day colloquial language and using these words with very precise meanings is an important hurdle that these students need to sort of overcome if they want to be successful in their exams and things like that. How do we say that?
Respiration.
Good. Can we try say this one over here?
Muscles.
That one there? The one above it, we're beginning with C.
That one. Carbon dioxide.
Very good, well done.
For a teacher like Kishan, he faces lots of challenges in the classroom when he's working with the kind of classes that he has on his timetable. And you really, really, really have to focus on the key words. Never assume that students in that room know the technical vocabulary that you're using as a science teacher. You know, always, always, you have to make sure, check their understanding all the time and never assume that they'll remember. It's all about reinforcing, and that's something I've learned from working with Atya, Tahira, Anisa, Majida and Saima. You know, repetition is an important part for everyone's learning.
Hands up if you're the spokesperson today. If you are the chair. Thank you. If you are the scribe. We're going to do something about connotation. Connotation means association, what you associate with something. So I'm going to show you some colours and you're going to tell me the connotations of
Sally's fantastic because she knows her class really, really well. Victoria Lee is a special needs teacher and they can together plan strategies for how to get the best talk out of their lessons.
Their seating plan, which they come into at the beginning of the lesson, is differentiated. They're all sitting in mixed ability groups. And so Nazmin sits on a table with Bakisa, Nahida and Huda, and there's quite a wide range of ability in that group. And we've chosen yellow because it's the title of the poem today. And as we go through the lesson, I want you to be thinking about why the poet has chosen to make yellow the title of this poem, why she's chosen to talk about yellow, what she thinks about yellow. Very quickly in your groups, I want you to count the number of things that she mentions which are yellow. Off you go, count up. Quick.
Who's the first one?
Crocus.
Yeah.
Yellow tongue.
Yellow tongues, yeah, good.
Yellow bird.
One.
Yellow tongue. I feel comfortable in that group. They are nice, they are great, in fact. They give me a chance and they do listen to me, so they show a lot of respect.
Nazmin has speech, language and communication difficulties. She also finds it very difficult to read body language or non-verbal communication signals from her peers. Group interaction is quite difficult for her, and the class have had to adapt to her as well as her adapting to them.
You are going to move, ladies, into different groups. We're doing this thing that we've done before lots of times, where you answer the questions that are highlighted in the colour that your group is, and then you're going to feed back your answers to your group, yes?
What happens during the lesson is that they go off into different differentiated groups. So Nazmin goes to sit with a group of pupils who are at the same ability or a similar ability to her, and Bakisa, Huda and Nahida go and sit with people who are similar ability to them.
So have you heard of comrades before?
Is it a friend?
Yeah, it can be like a friend, yeah. Okay. Like someone that's working with you.
They answer questions in those groups that are suitable for their ability range, and then they feed back, they move back to sit with their original home group and explain the information that they've just found out.
You're processing the information twice, once when you split up with your group and another time when you take it back. So it's helping retain information as well. What happens is that the students that maybe are more confident with receptive and expressive language are supporting those students that aren't.
Do you know what that is called? The hedge has its hair cut. Do you know what poetic technique that is?
Personification.
Brilliant, right, that as well. That's for extra marks.
It doesn't actually have a tongue. It tries to talk, but obviously it can't talk. So it's just emphasising that she's lonely.
Ah, good. Emphasising. Go and say.
When you go further down in the poem, no one's talking to her, so she's trying to actually talk with something that she's, yeah.
Definitely.
The group that I normally sit in, we're all mixed ability people. So when we're working on a task together, we're able to help each other in things that we don't understand.
Bakisa is a very able, very confident girl, but she also needs practice in communicating appropriately sometimes and communicating high order ideas.
Paying attention to language and communication skills stretches pupils across a whole spectrum of ability and has been one of the highly positive outcomes of including students in the Discovery Group into the life of Mulberry School.
So you can see up here that I've written Mulberry, a place for everyone. And I've just come back to you today to do a review of how far we've come and where we want to go next. And the most interesting point that I think we've all learned is how similar we all are, just as much as we're all different. Let's hear from Aisha and Tamana now. They are the buddies of Atia and Issa and Tahira.
Tahira, what I like most about you is that you are so funny and really good at art, as well as really good at sports. You always catch a ball if we throw it at you. I think you are very shy at times, therefore you have to get to know people before you trust them.
Aisha and I are learning sign language at the moment, as well as other members of AB. This is really helping. I just want to add that I think AB is a very special form because we treat everyone equally.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Aisha and Tamana. That was really brave of you. Not so long ago, Mulberry wouldn't have been allowed to have girls like Anisa, Atia and Tahira. We wouldn't have been allowed to have them in the school because it was believed by the people who made decisions that they wouldn't learn well, and also that they would stop the rest of us from learning well. How ridiculous does that sound now? Well done, everybody.